Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Fridays with Sandy. I'm John Byrne with Poets and Quants, and I'm here with Sandy Kreisberg, founder of hbsguru.com.
Yeah, we're also here with our candidate, Jaime.
Jaime,
Hey, everyone.
Yes. Hi, Jaime. Jaime is in Mexico. He is Mexican, but he has a U.S. passport. So he also qualifies as an underrepresented minority.
That's important. We've said this again. We'll say it again.
Which will be important for our discussion. He has applied to Harvard, Stanford, Wharton, MIT, and UT Austin. So far, he's been turned down at Harvard, Stanford, and Wharton. He's waitlisted at MIT. He's still waiting to hear from UT Austin. He is a consultant at PwC in Mexico and leads a team of consultants. He's a senior associate there. He's also worked in his family business, and he's been an entrepreneur of a digital marketing company in Mexico. And he has a GRE score. He's taken the GRE a few times. And the GRE score may explain the turndowns at Harvard, Stanford, and Wharton. It's a 309. He has a 3.5 undergraduate GPA in marketing and business management. So,
yeah, hey, folks, in case you didn't know, there's a website, an official website that will translate your GRE score into a GMAT score. And when you do that with Jaime's numbers, you come up with a 550 GMAT equivalent. So that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, which, and you know, that the test is important. And we should also say Jaime is 28. So, you know, he's at the exact right age in the sweet spot of the window to apply to a 2-year highly selective MBA program. So here's my question, Sandy. Okay, he's got that fairly low GRE, but MIT, which I have to say is generally hung up on high standardized test scores.
I agree. You got something going for you.
Put him on the wait list. They didn't just turn him down.
Yeah. You are technically you're not technically, you are an underrepresented minority. You've got a US passport and you have a Latin surname. And beyond that, you come from Mexico. Okay, so there's no joke here. We're not pulling a fast one. You are an underrepresented minority. And I think that went along. I think that helps you a lot. Let me tell you, a 550 GMAT equivalent, schools have a hard time blinking at that. What they're looking for is your undergraduate grades as support for the fact that you could do their work. So you were in a business management and a strategic marketing program at tell me the name of the school in Mexico.
Universidad de Anáhuac.
Okay, good.
And
you say that's a leading Mexican school, and that college, that university sends people to leading leading international employers and also U.S. business schools.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so the schools will know that, my guess. Did you take courses that are really like stats or economics, courses like that you got an A in? That's something a school will look to if they're trying to give you a break on the GMAT.
Yeah, so it was heavily quantitative, both of my majors, and well, I got a straight A's on econ, algebra, calculus. So those quant advanced
Good.
calculus.
Okay, did you write them a little note saying, you know, the GRE/GMAT score is not predictive of my performance at your business school? Do you know that note?
Yeah, I write them to explain them the situation I was having at the time, a tough time. But I explained it to them, my history of quant.
Yeah, they don't care so much about the tough time. They care about the grades, all right?
Yeah.
They're a little cold-hearted when it comes to sob stories. not when they're talking at forums, but when they're talking among each other. I just want to let you, John, you want to, can I ask for your agreement, or you want to abstain from that remark?
No, that's true. I think that's absolutely true. You know, I'm looking at this and one thing I'm wondering about, Jaime, I'm wondering how you got the job at PwC. How did that happen?
I applied. I passed the interview test, interview case, and I received the job offer.
Okay, that was simple enough.
It was pretty straightforward. The interview process.
Okay, for people who may not know, what is the interview case? This is if you're applying to the consulting part of PwC, right?
Yes, correct. Advisory.
What advisory? What was the interview case?
It was a couple of years ago. It was PwC gave me a problem, a case with the company that I needed to solve, come up with some quant statistics and a corporate solution, strategy solution.
Is this done orally, or did you have to submit something in writing?
No, it was, it was orally.
Okay, so they gave you a case, they said, read this, and
Yeah.
then they said, okay, tell me what you think the return for this company is going to be next year and why. Stuff
Yes.
like that, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so
Well, I think
and that's
it was a big achievement to get the job at PwC, and now to be leading a team of 4 consultants on a Latin American project for one of the biggest bottlers in the world. I mean, that's a real positive. To me, that's the most positive thing of your story.
you got a lot going for you.
You know,
And-
and the problem is that standardized test score. I don't, I know you probably have your heart set on Stanford Wharton, or MIT if they take you off the wait list, obviously. But that's going to be hard. And so the question is, do you take the test until you score in the range that gives you a real shot and you reapply next year? You'll have another year at PwC.
Okay, John, here's a question for you. And shades of our mutual girlfriend here. What do you think the lowest GMAT score that he could be safe with, where the GMAT goes away, given everything else?
It's going to be 700 because, he's a URM.
Yeah.
And the job at PwC, while generally silver, it's not just, it's very highly polished silver for Jaime.
And Mexico. Yeah, the Mexico thing. I believe that, I don't know this, but I think the Mexico thing is a real plus.
I do too. Yeah.
I'll look up how many Mexican, do you know how many Mexican nationals there are at HBS, Jaime?
No, I don't know the number. I have talked to a few, but I don't know the number.
All right. I'm guessing there's more than you think. I'll find out and post it under this video. I'm guessing 15. What do you think, John? Could be more.
You think that many?
I'll tell you what blew my mind. When I found out how many people from France there are at HBS.
How many are there?
8.
That's it. Now, that's one class or both classes?
Both classes.
Wow. So 4 in a class out of roughly 930.
Well, I guess that's about right. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Not many.
Yeah. Okay. We'll look that up.
So it's obvious that he should be taking the GRE again, but the problem is he can't take the GRE again this year and make it count for himself. He's got to take the GRE again for next year. So should he be putting off this whole process for another year at the age of 28?
Can he apply for the, what year, this is 2022, so it's February and then the summer comes. Can he apply for the September starting in 2022? No, that's what he's already done, right?
For Harvard, Stanford, and Wharton, yeah.
Yeah.
This is why, I actually think, given Jaime's goals, which is basically to stay in management consulting and perhaps either go back to PwC or get a different firm.
Okay, what job do you want after business school, Jaime? You said
I want to continue as a consultant, as a management strategy consultant.
Yeah. So if you go back to PwC, they'll probably pay for your MBA. And if you go to another firm, that you'll be able to do that with a good MBA. You don't have to go to Harvard and Stanford or Wharton to do that, is my point. And look, the Stanford GRE score average is around 329. So you're 20 points below, and that's a lot of points in the GRE, right? Because there aren't as many points in the GRE as there is in the GMAT.
But John, you've forgotten the thing you figured out. He's technically an underrepresented minority.
Yeah, so he doesn't have to hit the average, but he has to get closer to it. He can be.
He has to give them something they're confident with.
Yeah. And Harvard GRE 326. So, if he got something like a 320, that's a maybe, right?
Yeah.
Maybe. If he got a 326, I feel much more confident about it. It just hit the average. Don't go above the average.
Hey, Jaime, have you experimented with which test you feel better with, the GRE or the GMAT?
I took the GMAT once and the GRE at the beginning of my assessment, and I got better at the
of
GRE.
your standardized testing journey. Yes.
Yeah.
So you feel more comfortable with the GRE?
The GRE was what I got the best test score.
Hey, John, do you know? Give some free advice to our thousands of viewers. What's the reputation of the tests? That you do better in the GRE is more verbal and the GMAT's more quantity. Is that right?
That's generally true.
Yeah. So for folks out there watching, if you're deciding which test to take, well, yeah, you should familiarize yourself with the practice questions on each. They're a little different.
Yeah. And the quant tends to be more challenging on the GMAT than it is on the GRE based on what everyone tends to say.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, verbal seems to be more challenging on the GRE. So here's the big question. Okay, obviously, Jaime, if you get the acceptance, if you get pulled off the waitlist by MIT, you got to go there, right? I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Jaime, as I would say to my other Jaime, genug gesagt if that happens.
And then the question here is, okay, is there anything else he can do to remind MIT that he's hanging out there, he's waiting for their answer, that he really
He's
wants
doing everything. Aren't you kind of you're lobbying them, aren't you? Aren't people writing letters and making phone calls for you?
Yeah, I'm doing my part, and
yeah,
also
he's doing it.
I am also
Every
working.
communication needs to be substantive. It needs to add value. It could be that, hey, I spoke with a student or an alum the other day, and he told me this and that, and you know what? It's only made me more anxious and more excited to.
Yeah, John, let me disagree with you there. The purpose of the communication is to just show that you're communicating.
Yeah,
you don't have to make up stuff.
Okay, yeah.
And if anything exciting, if anything real happens in your career, like you get a promotion, or certainly if you switch jobs, those are things that could make a difference.
Or you get a higher GRE score.
Yeah, that could really make a difference.
Yeah. So the other issue here is there is a round 3. And generally, round 3 is the most difficult round, and admission officers normally use it to basically fill in the class profile. However, this year, there has been a dramatic decline. We're talking double digits in domestic applicants. And schools have as a key priority increasing diversity and inclusion. This has become a major deal at the business schools. Why I mention these two things is because they play in your favor. You are a URM, you qualify as a domestic, even though you're from Mexico because you have a US passport. So you could be in a very good position in round 3 at a number of schools. And so the question is—
he's already said many of those schools are ones he would not attend if he got in. He'd roll the dice again next year.
I know, but given his goals, he shouldn't do that. I'm telling you, why wouldn't you apply to Dartmouth Tuck? Why wouldn't you apply to UVA Darden or Cornell or Michigan?
Well, Jaime, here's the question. If you got into UVA 3rd round and you were faced with going to UVA next year or rolling the dice, what would you do?
That's a tough question.
Okay, you don't have to answer because maybe UVA is watching, but that's what you'd be faced with.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what you do. You apply, and if you get a yes, before you come, you get on a plane and fly and check the place out and see how you feel about it. And if you feel good about it, you go. Because any of the schools I just mentioned are going to get you your goal, which is to stay and have a more effective role at a management consulting firm, be it PwC or somewhere else.
Yeah, I agree. Let's just finish this with, why do you need an MBA at all?
Yeah. So, well, I told you my short-term goal post MBA, but my long-term goal is to eventually go back to being an entrepreneur, and really have. I am in technology. I am specializing in technology consulting. So here in Mexico, I see a lot of opportunities with technology and with unbanked people, and with a lot of, there's a lot of opportunity for small, medium enterprises that can really help the marginal communities here in Mexico.
What's the answer to the question? Why do you need an MBA? Just answer the question.
Oh, well, I was telling my post MBA long-term goal. Why I need an MBA? Because I really believe that that an MBA program will help me get closer to those goals, to give me the necessary tools, the necessary.
Yeah, it may happen, but it's all intangible. Yeah. So what you're doing is, I'm going there for the network. I'm going there for a little bit of substantive knowledge, but it's mostly the network, the experience, personal growth. There's a case to be made for that, for sure.
Yeah, network was a word I was looking for.
Yeah,
I really believe that that network is really important for anyone to grow professionally and personally.
It happens. That's I'm a little cynical, but that is something I do not doubt is a value of going to business school. You do have the opportunity to make a network. That is true.
So there you have it. You have the decision of, do you wait and hope that MIT takes you or UT Austin, or do you reapply next year and in the GRE and score closer to the GRE average at the schools that you want, or do you toss your hat into the ring, the round 3 ring, at a number of other superb schools with incredible MBA programs that put a lot of people into McKinsey, Bain, BCG.
Got it. We got it, John.
Okay. That's what I say you should do.
Good. Okay, adios.
Hey, good luck, Jaime. Good luck. I hope you get off the wait list at MIT.